Welcome into the Rundown on Fox Sports Radio 1400 around the world on the iHeartRadio app. My name is Rob Sanders. Thanks for joining us today. In studio with me today on this Friday, we are going to talk with Levon Kirkland. Levon joins us again to talk some NFL playoffs. Levon, welcome back into the show, sir.
Thank you so much, sir, for having me. I really appreciate it.
Folks are jealous, or I'm jealous. Levon has missed one playoff game as far as his predictions go.
Right.
I'm not very good at that.
Actually, I'm not that great at it, but I've been pretty good this year, though.
Yeah.
I've been pretty good this year.
See, Levon's a humble guy. He should have ran with it. So I do this every year, Rob.
You're teaching me. I got to get out there being as humble as I know how.
I know, right? Yes. No, but you missed one game.
I know.
That's the one game you missed was the Bengals, which I got that game correct, but then missed the Packers game.
Right.
Maybe I went with my heart too much.
Well, you're a Packers fan.
Yeah.
So you're going to go with your heart a little bit more than maybe someone like me who's played, who has a different perspective. I'm not going to go with my heart so much. But, yeah, man, I was a little off with the Cincinnati game. But, man, how can you sack somebody 9 times and lose the game? I just don't quite understand that.
I don't get it either. I mean, it's what a mess, man. I mean, Joe Burrow got beat up that game, but he truly didn't care and just came back and kept going. And then all of the games last weekend, we talked about the games in the first weekend were kind of blah.
Yeah.
But the games last weekend, all of them were really, really great.
They were basically walk-off field goals, 3 of them, and then it was overtime touchdown. Now, what do you think about the overtime rules in the NFL? Do you like it?
Well, we never really have to talk about it because generally we don't have games that go to overtime.
Sure.
I don't like the way the college game is now because it's sort of like everyone tries 2-point conversions and then it's sort of like penalty kicks or penalty shots in hockey. So I don't really like that. But here's the thing with the NFL. The folks that were upset that in the Buffalo Bills Chiefs game, here's a thought. If your defense played just a little bit better, you probably wouldn't have went to overtime.
Right.
So, I mean, I don't really feel as bad on that front, but
yeah, it's big boy football. So I don't really have a problem with the overtime rule. I think if you're a defense, and I was a defensive guy, hey, let's go there, stop them at least to a field goal. You stop them to a field goal, your offense gets a chance to score and win the game. So I don't understand the complaints.
You gave them the ball with 13 seconds left. You kick the ball off to them and let them drive down the field to kick a field goal. Let's hold your defense a little bit accountable for that.
Right. But you know what? I think the middle of the field nowadays are for the offense. At one point in time, the middle of the field was all defense. You come in the middle of the field, you're going to get your head knocked off. But now the offense really don't fear that. So they're going to try their luck down the middle of the field. Quarterbacks are going to take off and run and understand if they slide, they're not going to get hit. Receivers know that they're not going to take a huge hit at all. So they're going to be bolder in going across the middle. So I think really now the middle is more so for the offense than it is for the defense.
Yeah, and I kind of agree with you on that. But, a question that I've thought of here, especially when you mentioned that.
Right.
Is there a section of players that played, let's say in your era when you played, that today probably couldn't play?
Yeah, there's a bunch of guys who couldn't play.
I mean, just really couldn't play just because they were too physical, basically, right?
Yes, that's a bunch of guys, especially at the safety positions. The one guy I can think of is, he wasn't really in my time, just a little bit before, but Ronnie Lott.
Right.
I don't think he could have played. I think that we had a guy named Gary Jones. He definitely couldn't have played.
Polamalu.
He couldn't play.
He couldn't play.
Yeah.
But he was an
Sean
absolute
Taylor
dude.
might have a little bit of trouble playing.
Yeah, man, it's hard to say that. But yeah, it's like you look at it, it's like, man, these guys were very good. They played in the middle of the field there.
Right.
And it's like they've taken that away from them.
Yeah, Harrison from he's with the Chargers, and then he was with the Patriots for a while.
Right.
He might have a little bit of trouble playing in today's game as well.
Yeah, I just think about that. I think about the physical part of it where, they get whistled for things. You're just looking around like, wait a minute.
Yeah, it seems like they have taken away the art of defense. There was a time where you can hit guys a little late. You can let them know, send them a little bit of a message that it's going to happen all day. But now you can't really do that. So now the quarterback stands there like Captain America, and he's going to pass the ball all over the place.
Now, see, there's a section of folks that follow the show that think that I don't like Tom Brady. It's not that I don't like Tom Brady. I don't like the way Tom Brady whines and complains.
Oh, yeah.
But these rule changes probably help Tom Brady continue to be where he's at right now. He led the league in passing this year as a 44-year-old quarterback,
which is amazing. I was surprised when you told me that stat, but it's really kind of tailor-made for Tom Brady as well, because really you're not going to get hit in practice at all, so you can pretty much stay healthy. The only time you're going to really get hit is in a game, and for him, he had great offensive line with the Patriots and with Tampa, so he rarely gets hit.
But there was that play last weekend, and I'll catch a cussing from some folks, because it's like there's so many, I call them Tom Brady babies out there.
Uh-huh.
Everybody loves Tom Brady, but there was a play where Von Miller came in and hit him in his face.
Right.
And, busted his lip. Heaven forbid you bust your lip. I mean, you're only playing, a gladiator sport, basically. Heaven forbid you bust your lip. And he lost his mind about it, and Hockley threw the flag on him. I thought that was the best part of the game.
It was a little different.
Yeah.
Because, it's just like a lot of sports. Tom Brady gets the calls.
Yeah.
And the high-profile guys normally, especially on offense, especially the quarterback, those guys are going to get favorable calls. And he's probably so surprised that it didn't happen, and he's probably surprised that the ref reacted the way he did.
Well, in fairness, it seemed to wake him up, because after that play is when the offense started working for Tampa Bay a little bit.
Right.
So maybe he should have taken his flag and gone home. But I don't like the whole thing of let's just kick back and let's give the offense everything. It's just just sucks.
Well, they're appeasing the casual fan who doesn't really watch the game,
right?
And they want more scoring. And how do you get scoring? You gotta make sure that the defense got their arms behind their backs, man.
Right?
Yeah. But for me and you, we love defensive football.
Absolutely.
So sometimes it's a little bit of a bore watching the games, but
I love it when a defensive tackle lines up and puts somebody on their butt and is standing in the quarterback's face.
Right.
And you see the quarterback and his eyes are as big as saucers, and he's like, what am I going to do now?
Yeah.
And you're playing a man's game, sir. Figure it out. That's why you make millions of dollars.
No question about it.
Yeah.
Man. And that's a part of the game that I do miss. I miss the part that as a defender, you can intimidate the offense a little bit. Guy kind of runs across the middle. You can kind of give him a shove or give him a nice little hit. The guy doesn't catch the ball. You can hit him like right after that. Quarterback throws the ball about a second early, and you hit him, tattoo him. You can't do that anymore.
Yeah, it's a mess.
Yes,
it's basically what it boils down to. I don't like the way that it seems like the game has gotten kind of soft, and it seems like I'm the old man screaming at the sky. So we won't go down that road much. But
you do have a point, though.
Well,
you do have a point.
I mean, you played, so you
yes, yeah. I think the game. I mean, even in I was with the Arizona Cardinals for 2 years coaching there, and even the practices are different.
Now, I wanted to ask. That was going to be one of the other things I asked you was I think the first set of college teams to basically go non-contact for practice was the Ivy League.
Right.
And now I'm wondering if you can get guys ready without contact.
I think it's difficult. I think that the game it should be a collisional sport.
Right.
And it should be physical like it is. And, as players, you understand the risks of it. You really do. Now, the concussion thing came a little later, but now guys are very aware of concussions. And I just think that they have taken a little bit of the physicality out of the game. And I thought that was the best part of the game.
You mentioned the concussion part of it. I mean, I'm sure you've seen lots of instances where guys, have kind of had their head spun a little bit. I mean,
Yeah.
You think that the with the protocols and things that they're doing now, does that make the game better?
I think it's safer in a lot of ways, but I don't know if it's as fun. You know what I'm saying? I thought it was fun back at the time I played. And I don't want to seem like the old man on the porch screaming at the sky myself. And I understand that change always comes. But I would kind of like a little bit more physicality in the game. Let them play a little bit more.
Right. Yeah, and there's little things that they can do, but they've made quarterbacks literally porcelain dolls.
They
And
pretty much
that's
have.
you touch a quarterback, then that's it. And it's like, man, stop it.
Just a little bit. Sometimes it's like the
I've seen
guy
plays,
barely gets touched.
right? I've seen plays where
it's a flag.
the quarterback lets go of the ball, the defender's coming at him, and he literally tries to spin out,
Right.
but may catch him with his left hand going down, and they give him a flag on that. I've seen 65 pounds running at full speed. He
Right.
can't stop on a dime.
Yeah, well, sometimes the people who make the rules are not on the ground floor. They're
Yeah.
they're up above looking at the game from a bird's eye view and say, "Oh, well, this shouldn't happen." But sometimes I think you need to get to the ground floor to really see what's it all about. And that's what the NFL be. It seems to be very, 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 very quarterback friendly. They don't want to get those guys hurt at all.
Yeah, and I think it's killing the game, but
Right.
we can be the old man yelling at the sky. Shut up, Rob. Someone sent a question about wanting to know the toughest place that you played in college and the toughest place you played in the pros.
Wow. What comes to mind, the toughest place in college would have to be Georgia. The Georgia Bulldogs. That was a tough spot to play in. But you know what's underrated? I thought NC State was underrated.
Yeah, they're crazy.
That's an underrated fan base. They're actually pretty good. South Carolina is right there. Although I enjoy playing at Williams-Brice, I think their fans, I think the South Carolina fans are fantastic. I think they really cheer greatly for their team, no matter win, lose, or draw. They do a good job of doing that. But I thought Georgia was a really tough place to play. Now, in the NFL, there was a lot of places. I love Kansas City. And the reason why I love Kansas City, because Kansas City reminds me of college in a lot of ways. The barbecue, the tailgating, and, the Chiefs. So I like Kansas City. I think anywhere the Raiders, because their fans are just outrageous.
Yeah.
The old school Cleveland Municipal Stadium, that was cool because back then those fans would throw doll biscuits at you.
Yeah.
So you had to keep on your helmet. So yeah, there was a bunch of places, but I would have to say I love Kansas City.
I'd lose if somebody threw a dog biscuit at me.
Huh?
I'd lose it if somebody threw a dog biscuit at me.
Oh yeah. Now trust me, when you get hit by those dog biscuits, you do want to climb those stands and get with the people who do it. But you got to be a professional. And it's like it's a dog biscuit. Put on your helmet so you won't get hurt.
Brandon had a couple of questions here online. He wants to know: do you think John Abraham will make the NFL Hall of Fame?
Well, I think he should.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great, especially because he went to the same high school I went to.
There you go.
And he got the numbers now. His numbers are pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it's hard I think being a defensive end is probably a little easier to get in the Hall of Fame than other positions. But I think that, man, it's so murky sometimes that, unless you got an advocate for you that's going to really, really preach about how you get into the Hall of Fame, I'm not sure. But do I think he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame? Absolutely.
He also asked, who were the best Gamecock players that you played against when you were at Clemson?
Ooh, gosh. Now, I thought Robert Brooks was pretty good. Robert Brooks, even as a freshman, he scored a deep one on us. He was pretty good. Now, Sterling Sharp, of course, was an excellent player. Now, I didn't really play against Sterling. I was redshirted, but Sterling's so good that me and my roommate would get up and watch the Joe Morrison show, even though we were at Clemson, to see what Sterling Sharp did.
Yeah.
So Sterling Sharp is probably that guy. I thought Harold Green was too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Harold Green could run the ball. I thought he was very underrated as a runner. Very tough runner. Very tough guy to bring down. Let me see who else I thought was a good player. In my era, those were the guys.
D4 Sports asked, what is your most memorable hit? I know you talked about the interception you had of Dan Marino.
Yes.
But do you have a hit where it's like, yeah, I remember that one?
Oh, yeah. Now, is he talking about NFL or he's talking about college?
We can go with either one. Which way you want to go?
Okay, let's go both. Let's do college. It was in the Gator Bowl, 1989. Major Harris scrambles to his right. He kind of comes back cross field, and I have contain on him. And I'm just like, okay, just move your feet. And I waited for him to throw the ball. He throws the ball, and I absolutely erupted on him. I mean, that's probably the hardest he's ever got hit before. And actually, he told me that years later. Now, in the NFL, there was a guy, what was the running back? Priest Holmes. Yeah. He was playing with the Baltimore Ravens at the time. And Scott Mitchell was his quarterback. And I dropped off in the coverage, and I saw Priest coming from the other side, but I was baiting the quarterback. And what we mean by baiting the quarterback, you act like you really don't see the action, but you know exactly what's happened.
Right.
And so I just kind of baited him like, throw it to Priest.
Yeah.
Throw it to Priest.
Let's see how that works out for you.
And I swear, once the ball left his hand, I turn around and I'm coming at Priest. He catches the ball. I probably could have intercepted that ball, but I wanted to hit him. So as soon as he caught the ball, he turns around, bam, he's out. And Priest told me we've done some football camps together, and Priest told me only thing he saw after that was blackness. He didn't see no light. He just saw blackness. So that was two of my favorite hits.
Real quickly before we go to break, Biscuit's having some fun. He wants to know if you still got the 33-inch vertical.
Ooh, I doubt if I have the 33-inch vertical. Actually, my highest vertical was actually 36.
Oh,
yes.
There you go.
I jumped a little higher than that.
Biscuit's a friend of the program. If I didn't put one of his questions out there, he'd be mad at me. So we had to get that there.
Yeah, that's understandable.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. We come back. Levon Kirkland joins us in studio here on the Rundown. We're going to give you our picks for the weekend. Levon's missed one game all season, so maybe you should listen in on that. Also, we're going to talk about the Royal Rumble later on because that's this weekend.
Yes.
We'll get into that too. And lots of other things here on the Rundown on a Friday. Everybody's wrapping up. I see my social feeds. Everybody's talking about, I got to get firewood because it's going to get cold tonight. Stop it.
Goodness.
Stop it. All right. Well, we'll take a quick break. More when we come back. This is the Rundown. You're listening to Fox Sports Radio 1400. That's a good point, Biscuit. It ain't easy to hit Marino. He said it ain't easy to hit Marino. I think he's goofing.
Yeah.
Let's see here. That's a good question about the hits.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good. Jimmy, we talked about that. He's okay with the overtime rules. Oh, let's answer the phone here. Welcome into the program. Good afternoon. Hey, brother. Hold on. All right. We'll get right to your call, okay? Right out of the break. All right. Hold on. He was, I guess, Biscuit says Marino was hard to sack. Okay.
Yeah.
I never thought of Marino as being like mobile, but I guess
he wasn't mobile. I mean, he was a big dude, though. He's a big, tall guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't think he was hard to sack. I mean, he had pretty good offensive line, so he didn't really sack him a lot. But I mean, once you got back to him,
isn't it kind of a shame he doesn't have a championship ring? It's like there's two guys that I feel like, man, they should have championship rings. It's him and then Charles Barkley in basketball because Barkley was so good. I mean, just so good, especially when he was with the Suns. He was great when he was with the Sixers, but when he was with the Suns.
Yeah.
and he got the 3-point shot in his arsenal. He shot like 33% from 3-point land.
And he's the MVP 1 year.
Yeah, I mean, I can take you to the basket and bully you and dunk on you, or I can shoot the 3 and make you look stupid. He was great.
Man, he was a pretty phenomenal athlete for his size.
Oh yeah,
not being that tall. Basketball terms, not really being that tall.
Right. Yeah. Biscuit says you got 2. Yeah, you might be right. I love Charles Barkley as a player. I think he's great.
Yeah.
All right, let's go back out to the phones here. Welcome back to the Rundown on Fox Sports Radio 1400, 803-978-1832, 803-978-1832. Welcome into the program, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
How are you?
Last time I went to the wrestling, it was $6 for a box seat.
Well,
$6.
But that's because you're 106 years old.
No. You're talking about back in 79, 80. Yeah.
Do you remember who wrestled? Who wrestled? Do you remember?
Dusty Rhodes, Black Giant Mulligan.
Hey, Dusty Rhodes is great. I love Dusty Rhodes.
Yes. So you went, yes. Killer Carl Cox. You don't know about. I'll do the butcher. You don't know about those guys.
I know all about. Oh, you better check yourself, sir. I know all about Abby the Butcher and Dusty Rhodes, sir. You
and Dad,
slow down a little bit.
Fix Von Erich and all those boys. That's when wrestling was real. This stuff, what you're looking at now, it's just as funny as a $2, a $3 bill.
Well, I'm going to watch the Royal Rumble. I know Levon's going to watch the Royal Rumble tomorrow night. You should give it another chance, sir.
No, basketball will be on. Ain't no need to watch that garbage.
You're a Florida fan. Everybody wants to fire your coach anyway. Basketball season's over for you. You might as well watch the Royal Rumble.
No, I don't watch that garbage. That's fine. I'll look at Tom and Jerry first. How about that?
I like Tom and Jerry too. Yeah, go ahead.
Who you liking this weekend in the football game?
Well,
I'll tell you.
Levon and I are going to give you our picks here in a moment, but
I'm going to give you my picks.
I guarantee you a team from California is going to be in the Super Bowl. Write it down.
You no doubt about that, and it's going to be called the LA Rams and the Kansas City Chiefs. How about that?
All
Those
right.
are my picks.
Well, that's solid, sir. Way to go with chalk there, buddy.
All right.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you for calling the program. He likes the old school wrestling. I'm into all that.
The old school wrestling? Yeah.
Yeah.
I like old school wrestling. You know, my favorite rival would probably be, I thought they did an excellent job, was Ric Flair and Ricky Steamboat.
Oh, yeah. You love all of that.
Yeah, those are classic matches.
All right. We're going to talk about some wrestling later on, but let's go ahead and get our picks out there. We've got 2 matchups here. I'm telling you, team from California is going to the Super Bowl. Write it down.
No question about it.
That's absolutely happening there.
Yep.
When we look at the matchups for this weekend, though, you've got a Cincinnati team that has Joe Burrow at quarterback, who probably his best thing is that I mean, I say he's inexperienced, but that could actually be great because in his mind, he's like, he said today, why are people thinking we're underdogs?
Right.
And, and it's legitimately real from him. He's like, we're a good team, and they are a good team.
They are a very good team. And matter of fact, they beat the Kansas City Chiefs, I guess about 4 weeks ago. So they're legit now. They can score points. I really like what they do on offense. I think it's hard to stop them. The only factor with them is their offensive line. Last week, 9 sacks. It's just unexcusable.
Well, and that's
inexcusable.
They got Jamar Chase,
right?
But I said from the beginning, I think Chase is going to be great. But man, having somebody protect Joe Burrow, because 9 sacks,
that's a lot.
You can't keep taking hits like that.
No way, Jose.
And having Jamar Chase out there is awesome, but Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow together, that's the combination.
Right.
If Burrow is hurt, Jamar Chase becomes average. Yeah. I mean, I know that sounds silly. You could be a great wide receiver, but you got to have a quarterback to throw you the ball.
Yeah, you're so dependent on a quarterback giving you some action. So, and let's not forget T. Higgins, man. T. Higgins has been playing very well for the Bengals. So, they got a team that I don't think they're afraid. I don't think they'll be intimidated. But I just think that Kansas City has a little bit more. And I feel like with the energy that Kansas City has at that stadium, I think it's going to be hard for Cincinnati to win that game. But I think it's going to be a good game. I think Well, they said -7 that are they a 7-point favorite?
Yep, Kansas City is a 7-point favorite at home.
I don't know about that, but I do feel that Kansas City will win the game. But would I be surprised if Cincinnati wins it? No, not at all. But I'm going to go with Kansas City on this one.
Yeah, it's hard for me to pick against Kansas City, but there's a piece of me that says let's go with the young man from the Bengals because he's got that heart, man.
He does.
And it's one of those things where Kansas City can't just roll the ball out there and think that Cincinnati is going to be intimidated by them because they're not.
Right.
They're not just going to give it to them. You're going to have to, what's the term? You have to sweep the leg. I mean, you really do.
Sweep the leg.
Yeah,
that's absolutely correct.
So I'm going to go with the Chiefs to win. I think that's a good way to go. Let's go out to the phones. 803-978-1832. Welcome into the program. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Look forward to this show every week.
Thank you.
Yeah, especially this segment. The whole show is good all week.
I was about to say, we do a show 4 other days. Come on, man.
But you got a Clemson great day and an NFL great that always adds to it.
Yeah.
2 quick things. Did you ever play with Corey Miller? Oh, without after you. I was trying to think. Your years at Clemson.
No, actually
Corey Miller after you?
No, actually me and Corey played against each other in high school several times.
Right, yeah. Paceland, yeah.
Yeah, and actually we graduated from high school at the same time. He got me every single time in high school, but I ended up beating him every time in college. But yeah, I think Corey was the same size. I mean, he was a big dude.
Corey is a big guy.
Yeah, he still is.
Yeah. No, but he was like a man amongst boys. And I was one of the boys.
Okay.
Yes.
You grew into it. But another thing, too, you're talking about the overtime rules. They did change the overtime rules because before it was sudden death.
Yes.
Now they're saying both teams get an opportunity to get the ball unless the team that gets the ball first scores the touchdown. So, and of course, in football, if I'm not mistaken, is the only sport you don't have to be on offense to score points. You can get a strip sack, a fumble recover, a safety. So, I mean, even though you don't technically have the ball, your defense can still make a play, either stop them to a field goal or bring out them or whatever. So it's not like it's a woe is me. They said the defense was worn out, but that's part of the game.
Respectfully, sir, the Bills' defense they didn't really care after. I mean, not saying they really didn't care, but they were kind of playing the Olay defense from the middle of the fourth quarter on. So
yeah, they were out of it.
They were done. So
yeah, that's true. That's true. But in they talk about professional wrestling. I'll leave that stuff alone as far as the other thing is concerned. But they're saying that professional wrestling is not fake. Only the outcome is predetermined.
Fair enough with that.
You hear those big men jumping up. They said just try to play with your kids for about 5 or 10 minutes. You'll be worn out. Much less touch them with a 200 or 300 pound man for about 30 minutes. I mean, those guys put out a lot of energy. It's not the fate of the heart.
Yeah, you're right about that, man. Hey, I appreciate you calling the program, buddy. Thank you so much.
All right, thanks.
Appreciate it. Enjoy the show, guys. Take care now.
All right. And like I've done some ring announcing for some local shows here, and I've been like right up close and seen these guys.
Yeah.
And some of the bumps and spots that they take.
Oh yeah.
Oof. I'm like, yeah, that's not happening.
There was tough. Yeah.
I was doing one match with Ethan Case, who's my buddy that runs the Palmetto Wrestling Academy. It was him and one of his guys that was there, and the guy literally, I'm with the microphone in my hand announcing, right?
Right.
And I'm announcing, and I announced the guy, Ethan Case, and then I announced the other guy. I get the other guy's name halfway out of my mouth. This guy had jumped over my shoulder, basically sprung off of it, and landed on Ethan from there.
Wow.
And then he looks back at me and he goes, "Get out of the ring." And I'm like, no problem. Yeah. I don't want anything to do with that. That is insane.
Yeah. I've been to a couple of matches before, and I've talked and met some of the wrestlers, guys like Booker T, guys like The Rock, several different guys. And I can definitely tell you that the outcome is already known, but the action is all real. It really is.
Christy Kirkland. I don't want to mispronounce her last name. Mozee.
Mozee, my baby sister. That's my sister.
She says, "Hi, let's talk football, big bro." So there you go. Okay. She's watching online. Appreciate you following the program, man.
Love you, sweetie.
Yeah, there you go. as she checks in on. Were you were the big brother, right? Was she the little sister that kind of kept you in line?
Basically, I had 3 older sisters as well,
right?
And I had 3 older brothers. One of my brothers passed away, but she was born like 10 years after I was.
Right.
But you know what? I always tell her that, man. I was so happy to have a little sister. I really was. But you talk about hard to babysit.
Yeah,
she was tough to babysit.
Oof.
Yes. But I love her to death, man. I really do.
I mean, she's got the Kirkland DNA. She might have leveled you at one point.
Oh, I tell you what, man, she does a good job of being a personal trainer. You know, she just got into it maybe 2 years ago. She is phenomenal. So any of the ladies or anybody want to get into great shape, she can really help you. But yeah, you know, she got that Kirkland blood in it. She's an athlete. Of course. Yeah.
All Kirklands are athletes.
Well, some of them, yeah.
Some of them.
Yeah. We all get it from our mother. Our mother was a great basketball player.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Well, appreciate you watching the show there, Miss Christie. Thank you so much. Let's get our other pick out of here before we go to break. Actually, we'll do that when we come back. So we both like the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game.
Yes.
And then we'll talk about the NFC Championship game in just a moment. This is The Rundown. You're listening to Fox Sports Radio 1400. D4 Sports says, big ups to LeBron. I patterned my game after him being a big linebacker. Define big linebacker. Does that mean that you just weighed more than the average linebacker? Or
I just weighed more than the average linebacker.
That means you hit harder. Force equals acceleration times mass.
It actually kind of worked in favor.
Yeah,
to be honest, because
absolutely.
you know, back then the game was a little bit more, you know, in the middle, a little bit closer, and so hitting offensive linemen and things like that, it really worked to my advantage.
Yeah. So he patterned his game.
Oh, that's cool.
After yours, that's very cool. I always remembered you being just bigger than everybody else as far as the linebackers go.
And then I had that big 99.
Yeah.
And so that made me look larger than I really was, but I was a large guy.
Yeah.
I was a large guy. And it just worked out for me.
But you were blessed with being a large guy that moved like a small guy.
Yes.
When you were in your absolute prime of your career and at Clemson too. I mean, yeah, you weighed what, 265, something like that?
Well, you know, my prime, I probably weighed around more so it's like 270.
So if you weighed 270 though, but you could move almost as good as a safety in some spots. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know, I had a trainer, Todd Marinovich, remember him?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. His dad trained me for like a week or two in California. His dad was a really great trainer, to be honest with you. I mean, I know he got a lot of flack for being a father, overbearing, but he was a great trainer. Yeah. But anyway, he told me that my foot movement was more so like a running back than a linebacker.
Yeah. Brandon wants to know, about Coach Fountain, who coached at Lamar. He's up there coaching at Clinton now.
Right.
Yeah. He asked me to ask you about Coach Fountain. They had a good season last year with Clinton.
Yeah.
Do you follow the high school stuff around here?
I follow a little bit. You know, I definitely follow Lamar High School. You know, that's where I'm from. But Lamar had a little thing going for a while. I mean, actually, it's been going on for quite some time. We've had how many guys we've had in the NFL, which is pretty good for a 1A school. We've had me, John Abraham, Mike Hamlin, Marshall McFadden, and BJ Goodson.
Something in the water up there at Lamar.
Something there. And, you know, the Kobe Durant from South Carolina State. There are 2 guys from Lamar from South Carolina State that may get some consideration going forward. So that'd be cool.
Yeah. All right, let's head back. And welcome back to the Rundown on Fox Sports Radio 1400, 803-978-1832, 803-978-1832. Levon Kirkland joins us in studio today. And we've already picked, we both like the Chiefs, even though, I mean, I got to be honest, Levon kind of twisted my arm a little bit with what he said about the Chiefs, because I was really thinking about the Bengals. But then I started thinking about it a little bit more, and I think the Bengals just need another year. I mean, I really do.
Yeah, I think they do as well. I'm not sold on that offensive line.
Yeah.
I think that they could get in trouble. I think that they're definitely going to bring it. The Kansas City Chiefs are. So that's the only thing. If their offensive line was a little better, I might pick the Cincinnati Bengals.
Well, their offensive line is in shambles. I mean, 9
Yes.
sacks in one game. I don't really. You can tell me they may be getting better, but if you give up 9 sacks, an NFL record in a game, your offensive line isn't very good.
Well, you got to understand too. It's not always the offensive line. Sometimes the quarterback could get himself in situations like that.
Hit.
But the blame is going to go on the offensive line.
He got hit pretty much every other
he got
play.
hit a lot.
I mean, they credited him with 9 sacks, but I mean, he took some shots.
Yeah.
And,
I think Cincinnati needs to run the ball a little bit more because Kansas City, they saw that film and they're just like, we're going to come after them. But I think they're going to be, if they do that and they just kind of like, we're going all out for the quarterback to sack him, I think this is an opportunity for Cincinnati to run the ball. And I think Mixon is a really good running back. So I think maybe Cincinnati has a chance, but I just like Patrick, my homeboy, too much.
Yeah,
for them to lose that game.
Do you think that a way that they could loosen up some of that pressure is maybe have some slant routes with like have Chase run a 5-yard slant and just pepper him with that?
Oh,
and
you could.
I mean that could kind of hide some of that from what the offensive line has given up.
Yeah, but you wonder if that's their game though. I mean, Cincinnati seems to go downfield a good bit,
right,
with Chase and Higgins and Boyd. So I don't know. I mean, do you change game plans? I'm not quite sure, but I think it's going to be an entertaining game. I really do.
All right, so there you go. We both like the Chiefs, and then the final matchup, the Hollywood Rams.
The Hollywood Rams.
And the San Francisco 49ers, 2 different teams. I mean, you've got tons of stars on that Rams team. I mean, Von Miller's playing for them. I mean, Jalen Ramsey.
What's Von Miller been in the last couple of years?
Well, last week he was pissing off Tom Brady. We know that's where he was.
Yes, he was.
Looking like Von Miller from before. But
Von Miller 2015.
Yep. As Katuza says online, Von Miller ruined Cam Newton in Super Bowl 50. That's
he did.
That's a fair assessment. But it's when you step back and look at it, you've got a lunch pail team in San Francisco that they're not going to be intimidated by the Hollywood Rams either.
Not at all.
And they're playing this team that has a ton of talent. I mean, Aaron Donald, you can make an argument he's the best player in pro football, and they don't care.
No, so, what I love about San Francisco, man, it's kind of like wrestling. It's a cage match for those guys. It's a take fist match. It's a loser leave town match.
Yeah.
Those guys are super physical. They got some injuries there, but I like how they come in there. And I'm going to tell you, he's a Gamecock guy, but Deebo Samuels, man, he runs the ball so hard and so rough that it's kind of funny that even defensive backs are like, should I hit him?
No.
Will I make the wise business choice and not hit this guy? But I love the way he runs the ball.
He's like trying to tackle him is like hitting a cast iron skillet that has knives welded into it all over the place. I mean, it's just gonna hurt.
It's gonna hurt. It really is. I like the San Francisco 49ers. I love the way they play as far as a physical ball team, but I really believe that the Rams are going to win this one.
I kind of agree with you because Jimmy Garoppolo is living on something. He's gone to church every Saturday every Sunday. He goes to Saturday. He's probably cutting the church's grass and going on Wednesday for prayer meetings because he's like the worst statistical quarterback that's left.
Right.
No touchdowns, 2 interceptions, living off of Deebo Samuel running people over.
Right.
And I like the idea of Matt Stafford. I think he's just a better quarterback, and I think they'll do enough defensively to win.
I think so too. I mean, his wide receivers, man, they're really stepping up. Cooper Kupp?
Cooper Kupp, yeah.
Cooper Kupp. I thought I had it wrong, but I had it right.
Right.
Cooper Kupp, man, is a game changer.
You know, we talked about this earlier this week. He is an all-pro this season, first-team all-pro. He had 0 Division I offers was a no stars as far as 247 Sports, got in to Eastern Michigan and worked his butt off. And I read something about where it's his girlfriend now, but now it's his wife now, but was his girlfriend. She helped on the financial front because he was having to go and work and do stuff just to be able to pay to get into college. And she was able to help him with that and take care of him with the job that she had. But this guy worked himself into being an all-pro wide receiver. And if you haven't watched him play, he is a vicious route runner that catches the ball. And I think he led the league in yards after catch. So, I mean, great player.
He's a Triple Crown winner as far as receivers go. And also, man, you gotta applaud his woman for being such a good woman, for helping him out.
Yeah.
That's what a good woman can do for you. But Coop, the guy can play, man. He can flat out play. His route running is the difference maker. I mean, he runs that one route that he caught before he caught the big route. That was almost 3 moves that he made. You asking the DB to cover that?
Yeah,
that's difficult.
Hunter Renfrow does that triple move that he does.
Triple move gets him every time.
Yeah, I mean, and he's I hate to use the term little fella because he's playing a man's game, but amongst the men that are out there, he's a little fella and he kills people with that. But Kupp can do essentially the same thing, and he's bigger.
Let's tell the truth about Hunter. Hunter looks like a youth pastor. He
Nothing
does.
Wrong with that.
He looks like a children's youth pastor. I mean, which is nothing wrong with it. But if you would see him on the streets, you would never think that he's this all Pro Bowl wide receiver. You would never think it. But the thing that separates him and Kupp are the way they run the routes. The way they run the routes is just very difficult it's a difficult task for anybody.
Right.
And those are guys that a lot of times you sleep on.
Right.
You sleep on them because, let's be frank, this is a white guy. I got him. That's how they think. But those guys can absolutely play.
I mean, if they go with that mentality, and
they're going to be in trouble.
Well, I mean, you look at what Hunter Renfrow has done, but in this game, Kupp can kill you by himself.
He absolutely can.
And he has got something. He's got a connection with Matt Stafford. He's kind of figuring out like they're in sync.
And what I've heard Stafford say about Coop is that he knows the game just as well as any quarterback. He understands the game so well. That's what makes him very valuable. And on the other side, they got Odell. And Odell, the cool thing about him is he still can make plays. It's just with him being in the right atmosphere, I think. And I think this Ram team has revived him.
Yeah.
And I think that the Rams, they have too much for the Cincinnati Bengals.
I got to go with the better quarterback. I know that sounds silly, and I'm a guy who loves the defensive side of the ball, but if you're telling me I can go with Garoppolo or I'm going with Matt Stafford, I'm going to go with Matt Stafford.
No question
he's just better.
Yeah, Matt Stafford can spin that ball.
All right. Well, I tell you what, we're going to talk a little bit more when we come back. You're welcome to join us at 803-978-1832, 803-978-1832. This is The Rundown. You're listening to Fox Sports Radio 1400. Brandon says we should have Levon on every Friday. He's a great guest. Levon could have his own damn show. He doesn't really need me. I'm just kind of here to keep things straight. So, but Levon's welcome to come in whenever he wants to. I'm going to have him on. I want to talk about the NFL stockade, which is what I call the combine. It's the stockade. Yeah, exactly. Let's bring this guy in here and let's measure his hands and
let's poke his knees. Let's do everything.
I read somewhere that they talk about how much sweat comes off of a center's. I mean, stupid stuff that they're measuring.
I didn't know that. I didn't know they go that deep. What does that have to do with anything?
I don't know.
But I guess maybe the ball slip.
Yeah.
Will he fumble snaps or whatever like that?
Whatever. My butt sweat has nothing to do with how well I can block.
It shouldn't have anything to do. I think sometimes I think you're getting a little too deep.
Well, but I want to bring you in to talk about that. And I also want to bring you in for draft talk because, what you think about certain players and stuff like that. And I just think that will be fascinating. So
that'll be good.
But
That'd be great.
Levon's welcome to come in whenever he wants. He's just got to let me know he's coming so I can let him in the door there.
That's right.
We're going to talk a little bit about the Jordan says they need a butt sweat rating in Madden. That's really funny. Butt sweat rating. Anyway, you guys follow Levon on Facebook. His Facebook profile picture is a picture of him in NFL Blitz 99.
It is
which
so
is
cool.
Absolutely funny.
I love it.
Yeah, it's good stuff there. So be sure to check that out. Cool. And Levon, I don't know why I keep calling you LeBron. Levon keeps putting good stuff out there on his Facebook feed. A lot of the trying to develop some young folks too. So
that's right. That's correct. Yeah, we're trying to help them out. I was in that situation, and I wish that someone would mentor me more, even though I had a successful career. We're trying to help these guys be complete athletes. We're trying to make them.
And I ask you though, because I know you said great things about your dad, and I'm sure that he gave you a good mold to be a good person. But when it comes to being a great athlete, it helps to have a lot of people who have actually done that.
Right. I really believe that. I mean, there's no better person to ask than someone who's actually been through that experience, especially trying to go from high school to transform into a college athlete. And then to take it, if you can take it further, that's great. But I think that there's a lot of wisdom from guys like myself that could absolutely make you a better football player. There's no question about that. But we can also make you a better human being and also transform you from being that boy to being that man.
And that there is a big difference from the whole college thing to what you're doing in the pros. I mean, it really is.
Right. No question about it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, wouldn't you want somebody to support you throughout your life as far as being an advocate on your side, being, especially parents out there who have kids that they think have potential. I mean, a guy like myself, man, I can help that kid turn around and be something great.
And, you've been there. I mean, it just makes sense, and
been a coach on all three levels as well: high school, college, and pro.
I think you have to have a special level of patience for all of that, because it's
you do. And that's one of the things. I pretty much have patience. I mean, waiting in line, waiting in traffic. I'm kind of cool.
Well, you're a girl dad too, right? So you definitely have to have some patience for that. Oh my goodness.
Because those girls are something else.
Wear you out.
They will. They'll wear you out. No question about it.
All right, here we go. We're gonna come back here, and Jay's hilarious. He says Rob has a secret porn fetish for sweaty crotches. Stop it, Jay. All right, here we go. Final segment of the rundown this afternoon here on Fox Sports Radio 1400 around the world on the iHeart Radio app, 803-978-1832. 803-978-1832 is Levon Kirkland joins us in the studio today as he is over there checking to make sure the feed is up. You can follow the show on Fox Sports Radio's Facebook page. Check that out. Some of the comments we've had. The Biscuit says that's the problem with great players becoming coaches, a lack of patience. And we were talking about that too, about the patience that you got to have.
Yeah.
Where you've coached at all three levels as far as that goes, but you got to have a lot of patience for that job, man.
Yeah. You really do, because some of them will make you pull your hair out, as you see that I don't have any more hair.
Well, with what Biscuit says though, being a great player, which you were a great player in the pros,
right.
and you were great at every level that you played at. When you have someone that doesn't have that God-given ability, but you still want them to be great. I mean, it's almost like you expect them to be kind of what you were at one point, even though they may not be able to quite get there. That's probably that's a great comment there from Biscuit.
I think that's a really good comment, but I think also too is that some won't work as hard and they won't give it all they have. I think that's more, the physical thing I can understand a little bit more, but the effort, if you're not giving me effort, and that irritates me more than saying your ability, you're not quite there physically.
Right.
If you don't, everybody can give me effort. If you give me 100%, I'm cool with you. But if you're not giving me what I want, then we got problems.
Yeah. The effort is a huge thing, especially with young kids. You know, if you've got a young man that doesn't quite put in everything he needs, that can definitely throw you off. All right, so before we get out of here, I want to talk a minute about, we both picked, by the way, the Chiefs and the Rams.
Right.
So yeah, that's our picks for this weekend. Levon's missed one game in the entire playoffs. Thank you to the Tennessee Titans for keeping him away from a perfect season.
Goodness.
What a mess. But we want to talk about the Royal Rumble really quick for tomorrow. And folks know I'm a big wrestling guy.
Mm-hmm.
Hollywood was telling me earlier about how he misses the days of the wrestling with Dusty Rhodes and all those guys, but it's the product we have now, and the Royal Rumble is still one of my favorite events of the year. Big time stuff tomorrow. I hear there's a rumor that Ronda Rousey might be coming back.
Wow.
Which she just had a baby in September of last year.
And she's coming back already.
And that's the rumors that she might be coming. I don't know for sure, but if she comes back, I mean, she's the female version of Brock Lesnar, in my opinion.
Yeah, no question about it. I mean, she got some real skills.
Mm-hmm.
And even her debut in that WrestleMania with her and going against Hunter
Stephanie, and
I thought
Kurt
they
Angle,
put on a great show. I
put on
really
a great
did.
show.
I thought she did excellent as far as that is concerned. But yeah, that'd be exciting for her to come back.
I love Charlotte Flair, even though
Charlotte Flair is outstanding.
And she comes across as an over the top word that I can't use on the radio, but man, she's a great athlete. And she can get
really
after
is.
it.
Yeah.
She's really great. So
could you say that she's better than her father?
You're treading on some fine rope over there.
Yes, yeah. But, I'm walking on thin ice by saying that.
Yeah.
But I think athletically, she definitely is.
She talks as well as her father does.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if she could ever talk as good as her dad.
I think she could talk her way right into just about anything. She could talk us into liking her while she's bashing us outside.
Right.
She could do that.
Talking about the $600 leather shoes. I mean,
yeah.
The Gators.
And
I'm having a hard time putting these Gators down.
Yeah, I think she could be right there in the mix. She definitely, put it like this: if we put them all in a room together, those two would stand out. Yeah. And she would definitely hold her own.
Wow, I just don't know. But okay, sure.
It's fair. But yeah, I mean, I think she's the greatest women's wrestler as far as her promo on the women's side. Let's go with that.
Right.
I can't think of another woman that gives as great a promo as she does.
Oh.
I can't.
Probably, I don't think I don't know anybody that can do it right now. I do like, this is not WWE. I do like the champion for the AEW. Is it AEW?
Yeah, the AEW stuff.
Yeah, the dentist girl.
Britt Baker.
Britt Baker. She's good.
Yeah.
She's good. I like her a lot. Yeah,
Britt Baker is outstanding. But as far as for this weekend, I don't think Charlotte Flair is going to win. I'm wondering who I'm trying to get an actual good pick on for the Royal Rumble, but man, there's gonna be a lot of folks in there that
it's hard to pick.
Yeah, I mean, Lita's coming back; she may have a chance to win it. I don't know.
She's not gonna win it.
Well, she might. I think they're trying to set up a WrestleMania match with her and Charlotte Flair.
Oh, really?
And the way to get that is to have Lita win the Royal Rumble. She comes in at number 29. She doesn't have to do a whole lot because I hate to use this term, but she's advanced in her years.
Right.
And,
but she was an innovator when she first got in, though.
Yeah. She was absolutely outstanding. But, yeah, I think it's going to be Lita. That's my pick there. Now, on the men's side, did you have a women's pick? Or you? No,
I don't.
Okay.
I really don't. But I love the WWE women's division. Man.
Yeah.
They're fantastic.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yes.
The other side is with the men, there are so many that are right there that could, that could tip the scales there. Do you have a set that you like?
Oh gosh. I can't call it. I really can't. I wish I could. On the men's side, this is difficult. If what's his name was in it, but he's fighting for the
title. Yeah. Bobby Lashley.
Now, if Bobby Lashley was in it, I'll say Bobby Lashley.
Yeah.
He's going to win it hands down because the Almighty is amazing in what he does. I mean, he is amazing. He probably could have held on that championship a long time. I think maybe Big E could be the winner.
I like Big E a little bit, but I kind of like Austin Theory.
Yeah.
I think because they want to build a guy that's, he's kind of a mid-card guy right now, but he's doing segments with Vince McMahon.
Yeah, that says a lot.
And I think that I think they want to give him some time there and let him win the Royal Rumble and then put him in WrestleMania. Let's see what he can do. So true. Austin Theory is kind of my dark horse pick, right. But Austin Theory's 24 years old. Yeah. And if you watch him wrestle, he looks like, he's just outstanding.
He really is outstanding. But, man, I tell people all the time, man, I'm going to love the entertainment side of wrestling forever. I think the promos are not as good. I think they're a little bit more rehearsed than what they were before back in the day. But, man, it's one of my favorite sports. It's one of my favorite things to watch on TV. It's just so entertaining. And so many good background stories.
Yep.
So many good stories.
That's what I like about it, man. All right. Well, Levon joins us here. You need to follow Levon on Facebook. Just look for Levon Kirkland on Facebook. And his own NFL Blitz player is on.
Yeah, man, that's such a cool thing. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that's pretty
for
cool.
doing that for me.
That's
really
pretty cool.
It.
It's like I play an NFL Blitz game with my buddy Mike, who owns one of those machines. And I was like, I bet Levon Kirkland's on this machine. And I was like, oh, look, I got to take this picture. He'll like that. So, yeah, kind of cool stuff there. But follow him there, and he tweets out stuff all the time. And, of course, I look forward to having you back next week where we'll look at the Super Bowl matchup and whatever else comes our way here on the Rundown. Shout out to Brandon and Biscuit and Justin and all those folks watching online, and your sister checking in.
My baby sister.
Hopefully we didn't offend her too much.
No, she's great, man. But I'm telling you, man, she's an excellent trainer. So if you want to get buffed up, man, she can do it for you.
All right. The Rundown, we appreciate it. We'll be back on Monday. This is Fox Sports Radio 1400. All right, Levon, good stuff, man.
Man, this is so cool, man. I love doing this.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you later on.